The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the view and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees.
Hi, and welcome to Leadership Kitsap Alumni Spotlight, where both the host and the guest are alumni of our local 10-month leadership development course. This program shines a spotlight on just one of several hundred graduates who've given countless hours of their time and effort to make things happen through leadership. I'm your host, Carli Meurs, class of 2017, and joining me today is Alanna Imbach, class of 2018. Thank you for being here, Alanna.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I like to say best class ever, but I'll give it to you because in class of 2018, I had the pleasure of going through the program again as your project co-chair. So we go way back, don't we?
We do.
Mm-hmm. And since it's been a little while, what are you up to these days? What do you do right now?
That's a trick question.
I know.
I think when I was doing Leadership Kitsap, it was the very early days of us getting started with Vibe Co-works. So I think at the time that I was going through the program, I don't think our building was even finished. We were in the midst of finishing construction on the building. So we've come a long way since then. We've built a really incredible community through Vibe. We've created a space where people can come together, where people can get work done. And out of that, we have also evolved a separate nonprofit called Matchstick Lab that is driving all of the education, all the capital readiness, and all the storytelling pieces that support local small businesses, entrepreneurs, and innovators. So that's where I'm spending my time.
Yeah, and that's a lot. So I didn't realize that you had already started the process of Vibe Co-works back then, in 2018. That is amazing.
Yeah, we actually, this month, we are celebrating we were laughing, it's the 7-8 anniversary of Vibe Co-works, because we opened in our temporary location in September of 2017, and then we moved into the actual building that we're in now, September, October of 2018. So
oh, wow.
We were deep in the throes of it at the time that I was doing Leadership Kitsap.
That is so cool. What made you decide to go for it, to take the 10-month program in the midst of such a big project?
So I'm a boomerang Kitsapian, as I like to say. So I graduated from North Kitsap High School, left the area when I was 17, never thought I'd be back, was gone for 17 years, and then moved back really specifically, accidentally, to drive the project that was or is Vibe Co-works and the building that came along with it. And so having been away for 17 years, I was, from a distance, I followed closely. My family's all here, my friends are all here. So I followed what was happening in the community. But I saw Leadership Kitsap as an opportunity to reconnect and really get up to speed with the way things were working currently at that time, and who some of the key players and leaders were that I should be connecting up with. So for me, it was a reconnection opportunity.
I love that. That's a huge benefit of the organization. And since then, as an alumni, do you continue using those connections to move throughout?
I was thinking about that as I was driving to the studio this morning. I think I get to as many of the formal Leadership Kitsap socials and alumni reunions and things as much as I can, but schedules are tough. And I think a lot of the connectivity that I've continued to have has been through individuals that have been through the program, which is really amazing. You mentioned several hundred people having gone through the program. I won't pretend to have met all several hundred, but it's certainly some really fabulous people to be part of that network.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's over 700 right now and growing every year, as you know. But it's always fun for me when I meet somebody and later on find out, oh, we're both alumni, or oh, you did a different program throughout Leadership Kitsap. So the connections are out there, whether you see them or uncover them or not. And then once you do, it's kind of a fun little surprise. So Vibe Co-works now is totally booming and feeling good, rooted in community. Can you tell us, well, first, just a quick overview about what that is and what co-working is, and then anything you're working on with Vibe?
So backing up, Vibe Co-works is a shared workspace and co-working community. And at the time that we moved here in 2017, very few people had heard of co-working. So we spent a lot of time kind of helping people understand what that is. And now it's become a lot more common, I think. But the idea being that I often explain it kind of like having a gym for your business, a gym membership for your business, where you've got this amazing facility and we can share so many of the resources and amenities that are there. And so as companies are downsizing, for example, they don't need to have a meeting room, a conference room that they're only using 10% of the time. They can actually pay by the hour for a conference room when they need it or for offsites. We do have some private offices. We've got lots of phone booths. We've got, many people are on Zoom calls endlessly now.
Yes.
So anything that you would need to operate a business, whether you're a freelancer consultant on your own, whether you've got a brick and mortar and need a place to do offsites, that's what we offer there. It's been interesting in a community like Kitsap, where broadband internet access can be sketchy on any given day. Power outages can knock people out for hours, if not days at a time. We are really fortunate. We built in fiber with the Kitsap Public Utility District,
Cool.
which has been really consistent. And we're on a grid that rarely loses power. So for a lot of folks, we've become the place of refuge when there are power outages and where there are internet outages, which has been really fun to be able to be there for the community in that way too.
That's a huge benefit, yes.
Yeah.
And you also offer fun things through Vibe, like creative mornings one Friday a month.
Yes.
And also lightning lunches.
Yes.
Can you tell us about those?
Yeah. So we, again, the community piece, we've got so many people from so many different walks of life that are using and coming through our space and contributing to it. Creative Mornings is a global organization, I guess, for lack of a better word, but it's not its own entity. So there's chapters all across the world. One of our Vibe members took the initiative to go out. It's actually a pretty rigorous process to go and get approval to create a local chapter. It's a little bit of a rub because we wanted to be Creative Mornings Kitsap, and they do not allow that. So you have to be affiliated with the city. So we call ourselves Creative Morning Kitsap, but formally it is Creative Mornings Poulsbo. But the idea is that at a global level, every month they choose a one-word theme. And the belief, understanding is that everyone is creative, whether you're in the creative industry or not. And so then each local chapter brings in a speaker to share their interpretation of the word for that month. So it's totally free. We do it the second Friday of every month, 7:30 in the morning. Bring your own coffee mug. But it's been an amazing way to meet so many different people from the community who aren't necessarily at your typical, business networking events, or they're under the radar or doing really different creative things, and get to hear their stories.
Yeah. I have been, and I love it, and I live in Port Orchard. It's worth the drive at 7 a.m. Definitely. And you don't have to be a member of Vibe, so that's cool to bring in the community and offer that resource to everybody.
Yeah.
Are lightning lunches similar?
Lunchtime lightning talks are similar. Yeah. So those grew out of Vibe and are now run by Matchstick Labs, so our nonprofit arm. And those are geared towards business owners, or people who are building businesses. And so what we do is bring in 3 speakers each month. We choose a business-related topic, and then those 3 business owners get a 7-minute kind of tiny take on what that question of the month was. And then we have just discussion amongst everyone. It's often issues that are keeping people up at night, or one of my favorite ones was actually around business plans and whether you need a business plan. Ooh. And so we had, of the 3 speakers, we had one person who said, I've never had a business plan in my life and I'm in my 7th year of business. We've had one person who said, well, yes, but like a lean canvas 1-pager version is fine, and you had somebody who said, no, you need a 80-page version if you want to get bank funding or if you want to get venture funding. And so to hear those different perspectives is really helpful, I think. And what we've created with the lightning talks and with so many of the other events that we do, I think is really a safe space for almost like a learning lab environment where people feel free to be really authentic and open about even the hard parts of building something. And that's not the same level of openness that most of us share when we go to other community events. So it's reassuring, I think.
I think so too. Well, and like, that's just not what you open up with when you meet somebody at a networking event. So sometimes we feel like we have to pose ourselves in such a way as business owners, like, I know what I'm doing all the time, of course, I'm thriving. But to have that space where you can actually peer coach and work through, brainstorm together, that's pretty special. Yeah,
there's a time and place for both. We need both.
Yeah.
But I think I'm happy that we've been able to fill in what I think was really a gap. And we don't record them, so it's very off record. Like, this is people in the trenches, say what you need to say here in this safe space. So it's been great.
That's awesome. And so you have a couple of thriving businesses now, maybe more. Do you have a business plan? I'm just curious about your take.
So we definitely had a business plan for Vibe when we started Vibe. Matchstick Lab is interesting. Again, it's a nonprofit, and it has evolved out of Vibe. And so it's evolving as we go, and it's definitely developing a business plan now, because we need to know where we're going. We need people to understand what it is that we're doing. We need to, garner community support. We're working on grants. All of those pieces require you to have a plan. So we're working on the plan.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, is this your first nonprofit that you've founded?
First one that I've founded, yes.
Okay, excellent. What is Matchstick Lab? What's the mission here?
We are really working to ignite the imagination of Kitsap through entrepreneurs and through entrepreneurship, because I think there's so much creativity, there's so many dreams that go into building a business, and when we allow people to have that creative freedom, it can lift up the whole of the community in really spectacular ways, and we want to support that.
I love it. You spoke on that subject just a tidbit at one of our Kitsap Women's Summit, the closing keynote space, and it really does, like, you leave the room thinking way more is possible than what you walked in with. Even just a glimmer of excitement, something else is out there, and I'm going to go look for it. So I imagine a whole group of people focusing on that can lead to a lot.
Yeah, and I think, having grown up here, and I say this having grown up in an amazingly supportive community, amazingly supportive family, but I think even still there was this feeling of, like, if you want to do something outside of the box, if you want to do something global, you have to leave, right? It felt like there was like a couple paths that you could pursue to stay here in Kitsap, but other than that, you got to go do this someplace else, bigger city, different space. And I am all for go get the experiences. I mean, I've been all over the place and I'm much better for it. But I think that should be a choice. And I think we need to get over this idea that we can't, I think we need to believe that we can do great things from here and that we have all the resources we need to be able to succeed in doing that. So that's kind of, we do that through Vibe, and I think we're expanding that even more through what we're doing with Matchstick Lab.
I love it. Well, that does make me think about something you mentioned earlier off camera is November is coming up as we're recording this now. This is National Entrepreneurship Month. Is that right?
Global. Yeah.
Global,
yeah.
Can you tell us about that? What is that? And
it's, I won't pretend to know all the ins and outs of it, but essentially there was, a shared understanding of we need to put entrepreneurship on the map. We need to put the impact of entrepreneurship on the map and what that means for all of our local communities, our regions, our countries, the world. And so it gives local communities the opportunity to highlight that work that's happening at home and have it be part of a full global picture. So obviously for us, that means we have an opportunity to do a lot of storytelling, really shine the spotlight on cool businesses, innovators, ideas that are being born here. And last year, for the first time through Matchstick Lab, we put on what we called the Firebrand Unconference.
Yeah.
And I'm, if I were to choose one thing I'm working on right now, that's probably my most favorite, largely because I think historically there's been a lot of support for businesses in the area, but it's always seemed very top down. And I don't think that there's really been spaces or places to let the entrepreneurs speak themselves and to elevate those voices. So that's what we're really doing with the Firebrand Unconference. So it's for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs. The daytime portion, you're not allowed in the room if you don't own or run a business.
Wow.
And then we end the day with an after party where we bring in everybody who loves and supports our businesses. And what it's done is create a really strong peer community. Again, connecting people that have this shared experience. And we have used it to produce what we call a playbook, where we have captured the input from all of these business owners saying, this is what's keeping me up at night.
Wow.
And hey, educators, policymakers, business support organizations, if you really want to help us, this is what we need your help on as a top priority for us, right? So it's given us a really powerful advocacy tool, and programming directional tool, I think, to change the types of services that are available throughout the county.
Wow, that's way bigger than it sounds when you just see an ad online or something.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
So this will be our second year. We're
Yay.
excited for it. I think it's going to continue to grow.
And if somebody should fit into the parameters to join the unconference, can they? Is it invite only? How do they?
It is open to everyone. It is one of the few events that we do that is paid ticketed. And because we're holding it at Vibe, which Vibe is a 6,000 square foot space, but we're limited on square feet. So it is limited in number and it will sell out. So I keep telling people get your tickets now. But
Deal.
It's open to everyone.
And then I'm hoping that this is continuing the trend. Every November, you'll continue to have this, right?
That's the plan, yeah.
Cool. So earlier, we talked a little bit about your project year, and we jumped right into what you're working on today. Let's go back in time. Can you tell us about your project, your community service project in your service year? And then knowing what I know now about you and these bigger company and bigger projects, I'm curious if there's any parallels or anything that you've learned from that experience that helped influence these thriving projects.
So I don't remember the official name of our community project, but we were focused on the City of Paulsbo Public Works Building in Paulsbo. It's across from the library on Iverson. That building has been there for a very long time, and it was looking a little sad. And at the time, the hope, dream, vision, there were some proposals on the table to Public Works was being relocated, which they have been. But the question was what to do with that building, what to do with that land. And there was some proposals to create a community skate park and really cool public park area, basically. And so we wanted to inspire the community's imagination and bring them in to be part of those visioning exercises for what that park could look like. And so as a way to draw attention to that, bring people into the conversation, we did a community paint day. So we worked with some local artists, had them kind of outline or bring in supplies, and then had everybody come in and help to paint the wall.
Wow.
So I think in terms of, it was highly collaborative. It brought in the creative side. And I think there's a lot of overlap with that and the direction that we've taken with other projects of really this core belief that we have all of the answers together with us as a community. And it takes all of us from all walks of life to really drive the type of change that we most want to see for our community. So definite overlaps there.
Yeah.
The building is still there. We hope that it was going to be taken down. The park has been located someplace else. So remains to be seen what will happen with our painting. But
Come back and reimagine.
It was meant to be temporary. We had a city council member who joked, we're like, well, now it looks too beautiful to take down. And we're like, no, that wasn't the intention.
You did too good of a job. That is cool. When I go to the library out there, I always look at that. So it's still up.
It's still there.
But maybe a recollaboration station is.
Yeah. We had talked at the time, we're like, it'd be cool if you could cut out pieces of it as they were taking it down and then auction those off and have those funds go to support the community project. And so we were trying to disassemble it.
Trying, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And somebody who's working on that next, I hope they're hearing this. That's awesome. We are almost out of time already. I have so many more questions, but I do want to touch on you as a human in our community. I see you through business all over the place. I mean, at events, in the Kitsap Business Magazine recently, which was so cool to see. And always our paths are crossing in that realm. But I know you moved back here and you said your family is here. What do you do when you're not business Alanna?
Business Alanna. The way my kids described it to me this weekend, they're like, messy bun and sweatpants Alanna.
Yeah, oh, that's me too.
I love to be on the water. I love to be out on the trails. We live in Silverdale, right by Dyes Inlet. Last year, I actually went out a few times with the Outrigger Canoeing Club that's down there. So that was a new first for me that is super fun, and it's awesome to just have that. You walk out, and it's right there.
Yeah.
And I'd never spent much time on Dyes Inlet, so that's been a fun, more recent hobby, I guess.
That's really cool. And you'll do it again next year?
I'd like to. I mean, they do it year round. I haven't quite gotten to that level of hardcore yet.
But definitely adventuring in nature, spending time in comfy clothes. Yeah. I love it. Is there anything else that you'd like to share today or touch on that we haven't yet?
I'm just, I love Leadership Kitsap. I love the 20 under 40 program. I think that's been a really fun way to see who's kind of up and coming and see the impact that a lot of people are having in the community that I don't otherwise get to see. So thankful for all the work that you do and proud to be a part of the community here.
Oh, I love it. Well, that's perfect. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And we have so much more to talk about, and I'm already thinking of other things that we haven't touched on. So I'm excited to continue seeing you throughout the community, and thank you so much for everything you do for us and our small businesses and branching out into so many new spaces.
Amazing. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Leadership Kitsap's Alumni Spotlight. If you want to become a part of a vibrant team who's working to build a new and continuing source of leaders right here in Kitsap County, reach out to us online at leadershipkitsap.org, on Instagram and on Facebook. For the Leadership Kitsap Alumni Spotlight, I'm Carli Meurs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.